There are nights that feel endless, when the silence is heavy, when hope whispers too softly to hear, when every door you knock on stays closed, and you wonder if the light forgot where you live. Darkness isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet despair, exhaustion with no name, questions without answers. But here's the sacred truth. The absence of light is not the absence of love. Even in the deepest dark, you carry a spark that cannot be extinguished. You are not here to outrun the shadows, you're here to illuminate them. Because sometimes the light doesn't come from outside. It awakens from within. There comes a moment quiet, still, when your soul whispers what your mouth cannot say. I am not okay. And in that whisper lies a sacred truth. Because healing does not begin with pretending. It begins with honesty. It begins when you look the storm in the eye and say, yes, I feel this. Yes, I hurt. But I'm still here. You see, too often we're taught to fear the darkness, to hide our weariness behind rehearsed smiles, to shrink our sadness for the comfort of others. But spiritual wisdom across time has affirmed, truth brings light. In the teachings of the Quran, we are reminded that with hardship comes ease, not as an afterthought, but as a divine pairing. In Christianity, light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. And as taught in Hinduism, even the vast night sky cannot dim the fire that chooses to burn. So when you feel yourself sinking, when the weight of your silence becomes too much to carry, pause, not to give up, not to surrender, but to breathe. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to sit in the valley of your pain. Just don't pitch your tent there. Don't let the shadow convince you that it's your home. Because the dark is not a life sentence, it is the threshold before transformation. It is the soil where new roots take hold. It is the cocoon before wings unfold. And there is power in naming what aches. Power in standing in your vulnerability with dignity. Every time you choose to stay, every time you dare to hope again, you are bearing witness to your own resilience. That is not weakness, that is sacred strength. Let this be your reminder. You are not broken for feeling deeply. You are not lost for needing time. You are not less worthy because you struggle. The path forward begins not with pretending to be whole, but with embracing your becoming. And becoming starts here with truth, with tenderness, with tenacity. So let yourself feel. Let yourself rest. But when morning calls your name again, rise, yes, rise, not because everything is fixed, but because you are choosing light anyway. There is a quiet strength in struggle. It doesn't roar. It doesn't always come wrapped in clarity or hope. But when you pause long enough to listen, it teaches not how to escape pain, but how to walk through it with grace. Spiritual traditions around the world do not offer escape routes from human difficulty. Instead, they offer sacred paths through it. The Quran tells us that after hardship comes ease, not as a prize given, but as a rhythm already embedded in the unfolding of the soul. Suffering is not a deviation from the path. It is part of the path. Buddhism, too, invites us into this tender truth that even in the very center of our struggle lies the potential for awakening. The pain you carry, the grief you wear, it isn't a barrier to your growth. It is the soil in which compassion roots itself, and from that place, empathy blossoms not only for others, but for the parts of yourself you once shamed or silenced. As taught in Hinduism, like duty is not something you have to earn. It is already within you. Not some distant spark waiting at the end of suffering, but a divine energy longing to be uncovered right here, in the midst of it all. Through self-reflection, practice, and stillness, you begin to see that your light was never lost, only hidden. These teachings aren't lofty metaphors or poetic comforts. They are living maps. They have guided souls for centuries through deserts of despair, storms of doubt, and nights of unbearable silence. And they are guiding you now, you who feel weary, You who wonder if your light still burns, let this remind you, the fire within you is not gone. It might be flickering. It might be buried beneath ash and ache, but it is not extinguished. You are not beyond the reach of restoration. With every breath, you return. With every honest step, you remember. And with every act of gentle courage, whether it's rising from your bed or letting yourself cry, you are navigating the sacred journey back to your light. Let the teachings hold your hand. Let them steady your trembling, and when the darkness tempts you to forget who you are, speak this truth. I am still becoming, and even here, I carry the fire. Sometimes we wait for a breakthrough like it's thunder loud, unmistakable and deniable. But what if the sacred shift doesn't come as a storm? What if it arrives as a whisper? You don't need to fix everything today. Healing, becoming, rebuilding, these aren't all or nothing events. They unfold in moments so small we might miss them if we're not paying attention. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is light one small candle. A single act of presence, a single breath that says, I'm still here. When everything feels heavy, start there. One prayer whispered into the silence. One kind word extended to yourself, yes. You deserve kindness too. One gesture of gentleness towards someone else. These are not detours or delays. They're the path itself. In Sikhism, daily remembrance and service are not reserved for grand displays of devotion. They are humble anchors, repeated acts that keep the soul steady when life becomes turbulent. Each quiet offering, a flame against the wind. Judaism reminds us of something equally powerful, that even the smallest act of goodness can tip the scale of the entire world toward light. Not because it's flashy or loud, but because it is sincere, pure, intentional. A ripple that becomes a wave. So if your light feels dim, if your progress seems invisible, don't discount what still shines. The sacred is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's found in the rhythm of routine, in the quiet resilience of showing up again, in the hope that dares to rise not like lightning, but like the sun, steady, certain, inevitable. No act of light is wasted. No act of love is too small. Every time you choose to give, to rise, to try again, no matter how imperfectly, you create a sacred shift. Not just in your life, but in the fabric of this world. So breathe, light your one small candle, and let it be enough for today. So if you're searching for light, don't only look beyond. Look within. You have not been abandoned in this night. You are being refined by it, and when the morning comes, as it always does, you'll see that you didn't just survive the dark. You became the flame that guided someone else through it.